In today's video, I want to show you guys on how you can make a travel itinerary using Google Slides. Whether you're traveling with friends, with work, or with your family members, this travel itinerary will hopefully impress them and kind of organize your whole trip. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. So here I have a new Google Slides document, and as you can see here, I didn't do anything except for changing the name to the travel itinerary. In this case, we're going to be traveling to Japan. So with this travel itinerary, the first thing I want to do is I want to create a title slide. Now this title slide will kind of show where you're going, the dates, and just kind of who you're going with, whether it's family, friends, work, right, whatever it is. So the first thing I want to do is I just want to get rid of this title and subtitle because we don't need that, right? We're going to do something better than that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a picture of where I'm going. So in this case, we're going to go to Japan. So I'm going to grab a nice picture of Japan. Now the best place where I look for photos is going to be pexels.com. And with pexels.com, this is going to be exactly where I'll be searching for my pictures. So I'm going to be looking for my Japan photos here. So this is where you can grab high quality images for free. And as you can see here, the best free stock photos are royalty free. So I'm just going to type in Japan because why not, right? And as you can see here, it shows me a lot of pictures of Japan. There's really a lot to pick from. But what I'm looking for specifically, or at least for me, is I want to look for something that has a lot of like white space that I can add text that creates a nice title photo. So for example, this picture right here looks really great. I like it because as you can see here, the top left has a lot of spacing where I can kind of put my title, which makes it really, really nice. So what I can do here is I could just kind of right click and hit copy image. It's just exactly what I'm going to do. So right click, I'm going to hit copy image here. As you can see, my image got copied. I'm going to go back to my Google Slides and just paste it. So I'm going to go Control V here. And then I'm going to enlarge this image. So what I want to do is basically I want to just kind of set this image as the background, which is what I can do here. If I hit right click and hit set image as a background, perfect, right? I could just do that real quick. And if you want to do a background here, you can always choose the image as well if you want to upload your own image from your computer, whatever it is. But now I have this nice image as the background that I just, again, hit right click and hit set image to the background. I can also detach it as well, but again, setting image as the background is probably the best way to do this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit a text box here, and I'm just going to create a new text box. If you don't drag it and just kind of do a single click, it will just put a text box right in the middle. Now I'm just going to, title it Japan because that's exactly where we're going to be going. And I'm going to go ahead and set this font size to 72. We want this to be fairly large to kind of have a nice title slide, right? Now in terms of the font, I have a couple nice fonts here that I have. I have this Bebas font. I also have a Lexan font here that I can use. Or this, sorry, I think I might have clicked Montserrat. I have this Montserrat font or Lexan. If you don't have these fonts, you can go ahead and click more fonts and just look for a clean one that may serve the purpose. In this case, I'm going to stick with Montserrat here, and I'm just going to do extra bold. So I like the way this looks right now, except for the color. The color, I can most definitely go with something other than this gray. This gray looks a little bit dull and out of place. So if I just select my text here and hit this color, text color, I can actually pick a color, pick a custom color that I want to. For example, the red right here, you can go ahead and do that as well. It really just depends how you want to do it. So for example, I'm just going to use this red. I think this is a nice red that complements the color from this temple or this shrine looking thing. And I'm going to go ahead and copy paste this as well. So again, just selecting this Control C, Control V to copy and paste. And for example, we're going to be going, let's see, well, let's go June 2nd to June 9th. We're going to be there for a whole week. All right. So there you go. I'm going to just replace or change the font size here just so it's a little bit easier to read, and it's not as much or like as focused as the title itself of Japan, obviously. But I'm going to go ahead and put this right underneath Japan here on the left. And I'm going to change this font color. I'm going to change it now to, again, you could pick this eyedropper and pick just colors of the image, like this this black right here, or this dark blue, right? Dark turquoise color. I like it. I'm going to just change it to that. And boom, you have this nice title slide of Japan, June 2nd to June 9th. And who are we going with? Well, let's just say we're going with, or you could just write a little description, right? A trip to Japan with the Jeremy's Tutorials staff, which is basically me, myself, and I, because I don't have staff for this channel. But I could go ahead and change this description. I could go ahead and align it actually more to the left, so everything is kind of nicely aligned. shrink it down a little bit, just so that way I have it's not as like focused and not as big. And I'm gonna go ahead and change the font color again to maybe something a little bit lighter now. I kind of like the color of these city lines right here. So there you go, boom. So you have Japan, June 2nd to June 9th, a trip to Japan with the Jeremy's tutorial staff. You can, you know, change it to your family or the name of your group of friends, whatever you want to change it. But we have this nice title slide here, and I think it looks really, really great. So let's go ahead and create a new slide. All right, so for the second slide here, what I want to do is I want to add our flight and hotel information. So you can go ahead and remove this. This is completely unneeded, the title and subtitle. And we're actually going to come up with something a little bit better. So if you know your flight information and where you're staying at in the hotel, it'll be nice to kind of grab those photos as well, just so that way you can kind of see the flight and the hotel, right? So I'm going to go to pexels.com here again, and I'm going to type in ANA. Let's just say that's the airline you're taking. And you can see here there's a lot of different ANA flights, and you know, people obviously just take photos of them. But I really like this photo of the ANA in the air. So I'm going to go ahead and right click, copy this image right here, and I'm going to go ahead and slap it onto our Google Slides. Now, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and kind of put it in the corner, the top left corner here, and just shrink it down until you have it about half of the slide, like this. It kind of, there's like a red guideline here that you can see, and that's when you know you kind of like reach the half point mark of the slide, right? Because this slide is, I think default is 10 inches, and if you leave it here in 5, you kind of have a nice halfway point. If you don't have the ruler, you can hit view and click show ruler, by the way. I also want to cut this into a half again vertically this time, so kind of like into a quarter. And I'm gonna use this black here to kind of adjust the crop. And you can see here again, it's also snapping. It turns red here, and you can see this red line signifying that, hey, that's the halfway point of our slide, kind of like the halfway in terms of height. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and kind of adjust the picture within the frame. So I'm going to go ahead and just move this up. And if you hold shift on your keyboard, you're kind of like locking in on a certain axis, right? So you don't accidentally move it around like kind of like crazily like this and have it like that. But the way I have it here, I really like it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And what that does is that it nicely crops our image into our slide. So we have this slide of the airplane, which is great. And now I want a slide of the hotel we're staying at. I just found this random one online from you know, just booking.com of a random hotel. But let's just say this is our hotel. Let's just say this is our room. So I'm going to right click and hit copy image, find an image of your hotel room of where you're anticipating to stay. I'm going to go ahead and hit paste as well. And I'm going to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to do it to the bottom right corner. I just think opposite corners, it just looks cool. And just expand it to the other half of this, and you already know what to do. You want to crop it down to a quarter. So hit crop image here and just bring this down all the way to when you have a quarter of this image. Hit enter, and boom, you have the top left, your airplane, the bottom right, your accommodation. So since we created this beautiful title slide here, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of steal this. I'm going to go steal this red right here because I really like this red that we just grabbed from the shrine. And I'm going to go ahead and hit paste, because why not? I'm going to type in flight information here. Information, and it's really, really large, right? So I'm going to go ahead and turn it down to maybe around like what, 24? 24 is good. And I'm going to move it, slide it to the right here, just like so. So we have flight information, and I'm just going to add a line, because why not? Let's add a line underneath it to make it look a little cleaner. Let's align it center, just like so. And I'm going to change the color of this line, guess what, to the exact same color of the flight information, which if you don't know how to do, you click this line color. There's a little eyedropper tool here, and what that does is that it steals the color, and we're going to take that nice color over here. So we have flight information. Great, awesome. Now you can go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and copy this as well. So go ahead and control copy the paste the text again, and this time you would want to write down your flight information. So I'm gonna not bold it this time, so we're gonna keep it light and font. Let's just do June 2nd, 2025. You're gonna be flying, I don't know, ANA number 123, flight number 1234, which I don't even know if it exists. We're gonna be going from LAX, and if you do double dash here, like a double hyphen and a greater than symbol, you actually make an arrow. It goes the other way too. If you do a less than symbol and you do dash dash, it kind of makes the reverse arrow. It's a nice feature that Google implemented. But I'm gonna do LAX to NRT, Narita. If you don't know, that is the airport in Japan, in Tokyo. And let's just do, I don't know, 12 p.m., right? 12 p.m. Flight, because again, do this according to your itinerary, right? You don't wanna randomize this, but since I don't have an actual itinerary to Japan, I'm just gonna leave it like so. This is nice, and I'm gonna actually steal the same color as this color right here. This color right here, you can see is this, the fourth one on the palette. If you start stealing colors, they'll be on your palette for this project. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing and do this color right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit bold on the date, and I'm just gonna shrink this down a little bit to about like 16 point font. That's good. And now I'm gonna go ahead and copy paste this, and I'm gonna move it here and do June 9th, and this is gonna be our return leg. So we're gonna go back to 4321, and we're gonna go from Narita back to, guess where? LAX at, I don't know what time. Well, let's just do 10:35 p.m. because we're catching a late night flight because we want to be in Japan longer, right? Actually, on second thought, let's change these font colors to black, so that way we can actually start adding icons and it'll start integrating better. So if you don't know how to do that, just go ahead and hit black here or find a black, a really dark black here. So this is black. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go head over to flaticon.com, exactly where I find all my icons. Not sponsored, by the way, but I'm gonna type in plane because we're talking about a flight. And I think this icon right here looks great. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and hit copy PNG. And when I copy it, guess what I can do? I can actually paste it and move it over to here, to this flight information right here. So now I have this tiny plane icon here, and I'm just gonna align it up with this. I'm gonna hit Control scroll wheel, by the way, to kind of zoom in, or you can just use this zoom in tool up here if you want, and just keep zooming in. But Control scroll wheel is much faster, obviously. I'm gonna hit my select tool again, and I wanna kind of center this, right? Center this icon here, and I'm gonna Control C, Control V to paste it, and I'm gonna keep the same centering and put it here. So there you go, perfect. So we have our flight information, which is June 2nd, June 9th. And now let's go to accommodation. So I'm gonna go ahead and select this title that I just made. I'm gonna do Control C, Control V, and I'm gonna move it down here, right? So now we have that situated down here. I'm gonna type this into accommodation. So guess what? Our accommodation is gonna require some more information. So go ahead and Control C, Control V as well on the other text that we've created. And I'm gonna copy and paste the name of our hotel, which is Shinagawa Prince Hotel North Tower. So I'm gonna select everything here by hitting Control A or Command A if you're in Mac. And I'm gonna do Control Shift V. And what that does is it's gonna keep the formatting of the font. It's just the font, the size, the colors, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and expand this. And boom, there we go. We have our hotel right here, right? And then from there, you can actually just start typing in the location. So for example, the location is going to be around, let's see. Let's find the address of this place. Boom, right here. Tokyo to Minotaku. I don't know how to actually pronounce, say this, but I'm gonna trust it and that it's right. And bang, that's our location. We don't need this like reviews from booking.com, just get rid of that. And I'm gonna unbold this just so that way it's a little bit cleaner, it's better to look at. And then underneath, I'm gonna do check-in time. I don't know, what is check-in time? Let's just say 3 p.m. And then check out at 10 a.m. Perfect, perfect. Now I'm gonna go ahead and bold this as well, and I'm gonna go ahead and bold the check-in and check-out because I think that's pretty important to know. And I'm gonna go ahead and shrink this a little bit just so that way it fits within our slide. So perfect, we have this accommodation, and guess what? Guess why I have this gap right here? Obviously for our icons, right? So let's get a location icon going. I like this one. This one's great. I'm gonna hit copy PNG, and as always, just paste it, shrink it down a little bit, and kind of slap it right on top. Actually, let's do it this way. Let's do it on this line right here, because this is the location line. Okay, and then for that title line, let's get a bed. Let's get a bed icon. So copy this, and I'm gonna shrink it down again to about that size, and now we're gonna put it up here. Shinagawa Prince Tower Hotel. All right, And then since we're dealing with check-in and check-out times, let's get a clock. Why not, right? Let's get this clock going, copy this and paste it. And I'm gonna go ahead and get it like so. Check-in, check-out. Let's center this and make sure it's aligned. Oh, perfect. Okay, so here we go. We have our accommodation and our flight information in one slide. So that's perfect for the beginning of the trip. So you're all in sync of what time your flight is and stuff. On over to our next slide of our daily itinerary now. Now we're gonna go break down day by day on exactly what we're going to do. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and delete this. Now, if you don't know, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and look for another picture. So for example, let's just say we're gonna be going to Tokyo, right? We're going to Japan, let's go to Tokyo, why not? So I'm gonna get a nice photo of Tokyo here. And you could look for a bright photo or a dark photo, it doesn't really matter, but I really like this picture right here. So this is a night photo of Tokyo. Right click, copy image, paste it back into our slide here. Now, you should already be a pro at this. I'm gonna put it in the top left, just like this one. And this time I'm gonna crop it. And I'm gonna crop it about halfway of our slide. Again, the red line means it's about halfway, or it's like aligned to the half. I'm gonna go ahead and expand this a little bit higher, like so, for the crop. And I wanna make sure that this image actually fills our slide, right? So remember, grab this blue that represents the image, and I'm gonna go ahead and shift it here so it's about halfway. We can see the street. Perfect. I hit enter. Bang, my picture is cropped, right? Really nice, really great. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna click this image, hit format options. And what I can do is I can actually lower the brightness because it is a little too bright. I'm gonna lower it down a little bit, and you can see, and you're gonna see here why in a second, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually go ahead and add some title to this, right? I'm gonna go back to this. I'm gonna steal this. You know where it says flight information? I'm gonna steal these two elements, the line and the text. You can just go ahead and drag it. Copy, Control C and Control V. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change, I'm gonna grab it and move it down here to this image. I'm gonna center it, move it down here to the image. And I'm gonna actually change the font color. So I'm gonna select this flight information, change the font color to white, and I'm gonna change the color of the line to white as well. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type the location of where this is. So this is Tokyo, right? I'm gonna type in Tokyo, and I just did a quick Google search of what Tokyo, a summary about Tokyo. And you know, since Google is free, they gave me this, very, very nice. I'm gonna go ahead and copy this headline right here. I'm gonna unbold it, so just unselect the bold. And I'm just gonna copy this, why not? This is a nice information for the group, for my family, for the coworkers. And don't forget, when you hit Control V here, you're just gonna get it formatted just like Google. We don't want that. We want the formatting to our font, our color, our size. So what you wanna do again is Control Shift V. And what that does is that it pastes it in the same font and formatting that we already have, which again, it looks kind of off because it's way too big, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and select everything here, Control A, and shrink it down, shrink it all the way down to maybe about, I don't know, 11, right? 11 is good. And I'm gonna go ahead and kind of scoot everything up. So if you wanna select different elements, you're gonna go ahead and hit Shift when you're clicking, and you're selecting them as a group, and I'm gonna move everything up. So perfect. So here's Tokyo. I'm gonna align this more middle, just like this. And perfect, so we have this nice Tokyo and a little description of what Tokyo is. And now I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing. I'm gonna steal this again one more time, but this time I'm gonna keep it up here. I'm gonna keep it in the top right, because now we're gonna start counting our days. So day 1. And guess what we're gonna be doing in day 1? Well, I don't know, that's up to you to decide. But let's go ahead and add a text box here. And I'm just gonna click this right here. And then you wanna change the font again to Montserrat Medium. And I think I'm already on black. No, I'm not on black. So I'm gonna change the font size to black. And now I'm gonna start typing in my itinerary. So what are we gonna do in day 1? Well, you can plan this many different ways, but the way I like to do it is I like to split it into morning. I'm gonna do daytime, and I'm gonna do night, right? So different itineraries, I'm gonna go ahead and change the font size a little bit because it's getting a little too large. So on the morning, what are we doing in the morning, right? I'm gonna go ahead and use this bullet list here. So let's just say 9 a.m. We're gonna be breakfast at hotel, and then at 11 a.m. check out. Oh, let's get a space going here. Let's do check out Tokyo Skytree. And then 12 p.m. would be actually under daytime. So let's go here, create a bulleted list like so. 12 p.m. lunch at Shinjuku, return back to the hotel. Okay, so we have our fake, or I guess quote unquote fake itinerary here. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of scoot this over to the right a little bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and start bolding things just to make it better, so easier to read. So bold that. I wanna start bolding the times as well. So that way it's, again, easier to read. I'm just doing Control B here, selecting them, hitting Control B. And then we're basically almost done. What I wanna do next is I just wanna add icons. So let's just do morning. Let's get a morning icon here. I like everything to be black and white. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit copy PNG here for this morning one and paste it. And I'm gonna go ahead and shrink it down and put it right there. Perfect for morning, right? You could always, again, you could always move things around. You could squish it if you need to and change font size. Make everything look clean and accommodated, right? Daytime, let's look at daytime. Let's do day. What do we do about day? What can we do? Let's do the sun one right here. Perfect, day. I'm gonna go ahead and paste. Shrink it down, don't lose it. I know it's black on black, which you might be able to lose, but let's center it down here to the center. Perfect, morning, daytime, and then last but not least, night, which I'm assuming will be a moon icon. So perfect, what did I say? And just paste it, shrink it down a little bit, just like the other ones, and bang, we have this icon right here that says night. I'm just gonna go ahead and again, control scroll wheel just to kind of align it vertically like so. And boom, perfect. So there you go. Our itinerary is coming together. And again, you can go ahead and copy paste this and always just replace the image here, replace the information, like for example, Ginza, or you can go Osaka, Kyoto, whatever, right? But then again, you can replace this image by replacing image right here. You can do by URL. So for example, you want a picture of Osaka, pixels, type in Osaka here, copy this image, or you can just do copy image address, right? If you want to do by URL, copy this image address, hit replace image here, and then you can do by URL, paste this image, boom, hit replace, and guess what? You have the Osaka image. And again, the cropping is a little bit off, double click it, bring it down a little bit, perfect. And look, it's hard to read the text, I know. You go to format options, turn on the brightness, what is it, -60 earlier, right? Perfect. Now we have an Osaka image. You have Tokyo, we have Osaka. You want to change the positioning, not a problem. You want to just shift this all the way to the left like this. And then what you can do is grab everything like this and shift everything to the right. So now you have the Osaka on the right and the Tokyo to the left like this. Change it to day 2. Again, the creativity, the possibilities are endless with this travel itinerary. I think it looks really clean. I think it looks really modern, and everything is kind of organized really, really nicely. So that way you can share this with your family, your friends, or your group at work. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit the like and hit the subscribe button down below, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.